are not. So I'm not going live for another 3 minutes. So I'm just getting everything ready to go. And we will get started here in a few moments, hopefully. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know and I'll look at them. As always, we have our free Telegram group you can join on our X page as well as the trading group. But let me just make sure that the live stream is up and running well, and then we can get started. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know. Telegram. Sound looks to be good. Just making sure of that. All right, let's look at the crypto fear and greed index, and then we can go from there. Let me make sure Bookmap is up and running smoothly, and let me make sure it's on 1080p so that we have the best visuals. So right now, the crypto fear and greed index is currently coming in at 75. We are in greed, but we're not in extreme greed. I think extreme greed is anything above 80, I believe. I wish they had like a chart of what that would be. But 80 and above, I believe it is extreme greed, or maybe it's a little under 80. But anyways, we're still a little ways away from that. And until you get above 90, I'm not super worried, but we're getting closer. So that is something to take note of, that, the crypto fear and greed index is getting up there. And like I've said before, unless we're above 90 or below 10, I'm not too worried. If you get above 90, that's when I'd probably stop buying Bitcoin every day and hold off until you at least get below 90, which won't usually take more than a week or two. At least then you're not buying the absolute top. But in the long scheme of things, if you're buying Bitcoin every single day, Bitcoin in a bear market or in a bull market, it probably won't matter if you're buying the all-time high, because in 4 years, you'll probably be buying, that'll be the low. So we'll see what happens. But right now, we're at 75 on the Fear Greed Index, and that is the sentiment of the market right now. So you can see that yesterday we were at 73, last week we were at 71, and then last month we were at 65. So over time, it is kind of it's been in the 60s to 70s over the last month. So that is kind of interesting to look at. And then we can go over and look at Bookmap. That shows where the liquidity is at on Bitcoin. So yeah, we can go do that next. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. I've never scrolled all the way down here to see what else is down there. But anyways, let's go and look at Bookmap and see what's going on. Right now, if I go full screen, we can see that we have liquidity at $120,000 for Bitcoin. On the daily time frame, you also have a liquidity at $116,000. You usually go to wherever the closest liquidity is. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin goes back down to about 116,000, where there's a lot of orders. Yes, we have liquidity at 120, but technically speaking, if we're at 118.2 right now, 116 would be closer. The good thing is, for the bulls, is that we have strong weekly support at 117,500. That's been support for about a month now. And then if we look over to the left, this is the weekly time frame, you can see that we have a lot of liquidity at 125. So I think in the next month or two, we do hit 125,000, but I don't think we're ready to do that just yet. We'll see what happens. Let me go over and look at the charts really quickly, and then we'll go from there. So starting on the 3-day time frame for Bitcoin, you can see that right now we do have we are overbought on the 3-day time frame. So just be cautious of that. The weekly time frame is also overbought. So again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did get moved back to the downside here. And then if you look at the daily, you can see that the daily right now is trying to put in a higher low on the smaller time frames. The daily is also oversold. Now, can we actually get that done? That's the big question that we have to answer right now. Can we actually hold this higher low, or are we going to jump back down to where there's a lot of orders on Bookmap at $116,000? So that's really the question. The daily time frame suggests you can get the bounce on the stock RSI, as we're very oversold. The 12-hour time frame kind of lackluster. You got to move up on the stock RSI, but now you're kind of struggling to get that follow through and the bounce. So to me, it looks like the 12-hour time frame might actually want to roll over. The 8-hour time frame putting in a lower high as well. That's not a good sign. Your previous time you overbought on the 8-hour was 123,000 and change, the all-time high, and now you're putting in a lower high at about 119.9 or just under that. So can we continue the bounce up, or are we really going to get rejected off this lower high at just under 120,000? And the 6-hour time frame kind of says the same thing as the 8-hour. I would be pretty surprised if Bitcoin actually does not roll over here. The 4-hour time frame could be putting in a low, but it looks really sketchy to me. And it is Tuesday. 1 hour time frame looks bullish to me. So I would go off this 1 hour time frame. And I said in my TikTok I posted 2 hours ago, I said that I thought the most likely situation, even though it looks sketchy, even though it looks 50-50 to me on a lot of different parameters, at the end of the day, I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame and I'm looking for a bounce. I didn't go into as much detail about why I was looking for a bounce, but the 1 hour time frame, this is a falling wedge nonetheless, as sketchy as the higher time frames look, as I know we have liquidity to the downside on Bookmap, but I see a falling wedge here on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, and I see a possibility of a move back to the upside. And this measure move would take you to about $119,800. So can we get the follow through? Can we get the bounce? That would really be what we're looking for. That's what the bulls need. If we don't get this bounce here, then your next support, again, to the downside is 119,500. So I would be looking for this bounce. Now, it worries me that the 15-minute time frame is already overbought. But we'll see what happens. I would also like to see the 15-minute time frame get above the 200-day moving average. Can we do that? That's going to be pretty important as well for a follow-through. So I see a possibility of a long here, but it's, it's looking a little sketchy to me on the smaller time frames. I'm sorry, on the higher time frame. So the 1 minute time frame, what can the 1 minute time frame do right now? Let's kind of look at this. So to me, this is kind of like a rising wedge, and either it's going to rip to the upside or it's going to dump. These dump most of the time, but if they do rip, they rip strong. The 1 minute time frame oversold at the top of the flag. This actually looks like you could rip here because you're oversold on the stock RSI. You're staying in the flag, and you're above the 200-day moving average. So to me, this is a rising wedge because there's a slight uptrend in the price action. But I would be looking for a move up to about 118.7, and that would start your that'd be the start of a larger measure move to the upside of about 119.9. So you know what? If I had to call it either way today, I'd be saying later today, if not right now, we're gonna get a bounce to the upside for Bitcoin, and my target again would still be about just under 120,000. So either we put in a double top at 120,000, or we can somehow put in a higher high. The measure move would be saying a double top, but you could easily get past that. So if I had to call it right now, for the rest of the day, I'm bullish. For the rest of the week, I would say overall probably we come back down. So maybe we do put in that double top, but I would be looking for a move back at least to 119.9, 120,000 sometime within the end of the day. And then the other day, I would say the end of the day would be, the next 12 hours. So we'll see what happens. But I'll be looking for a bounce here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin also gets a new daily candle here in about 4.5 hours. So, but I think in the next 8 to 12 hours, Bitcoin's going to be around 120,000. So that's my prediction. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll look at them. But if Bitcoin can get even a short-term bounce here, that'd be good for altcoins for the rest of today. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I appreciate if you guys hit the likes. It does help support the channel. So, what was I going to say? Oh, it says also encourage your viewers to share the like button. To share the video. You can share the video too. That would help support the stream as well. What is Pulse Chain? I don't know. It's a cryptocurrency. So, thank you at least for the likes on YouTube. I do appreciate that. Yeah, so I see a bounce coming here for Bitcoin, and that's kind of where I leave us off for right now. Let me go back to the 1 minute time frame. 1 minute time frame did kind of roll over. You could be dumping here. This could be a bearish retest. Stock RSI still looks good to me, so we'll see what happens. I don't trade the 1 minute. I'm just saying the short term, I see a bounce on the 1 minute. Anytime you're on any asset on the 1 minute time frame, or on any time frame, if you're above the 200-day moving average, that's usually a bullish sign. So it's most likely if you were just trading the 1 minute right now, then we get that bounce to the upside, and we can go from there. So really, my stop loss would, if you're trading the 1 minute time frame, my stop loss would be 117,950, and take profit about 118,750. That's a trade setup I would give. I'm not in that trade setup, but I could see it easily playing to the upside, and we can go from there. So if you guys have requests for altcoins for me to look at, let me know and I'll look at them. My only request is that you guys hit the likes to support the channel. Let's check AI. Is that I don't know if that's a coin or what. I'm not trading anything right now. I guess I am in a short on YFI, but right now I'm not trading anything. I'm not trading. I'm not trading anything right now. So yeah, but we'll see what happens here. Now the woman is kind of struggling. Um, I would be looking for the 1 hour falling wedge to play out to the upside on Bitcoin here, and that's just what I'd be looking at for Bitcoin. And that could save Bitcoin for the rest of the day. Is a move back close to $120,000. So, anyways, let me know if you guys have requests for altcoins, and we can go from there. I did also take a put position. This is a stock, not financial advice. I did put a put position for August 15th, I believe, which is wait, the Tuesday? I thought that was a Friday. Okay, well, either way, I put a put position on SoFi to be below like $20 on the 15th of August. And we'll see what happens with that. Maybe it doesn't play out. I only put $40 on it, but this is a bearish descending triangle right now on SoFi, and also just right now the 3-day time frame on SoFi. 50-minute time frame looks like it could go back down to $20 alone, but if you look at a 3-day time frame, you can see that it's kind of rolling over on the stock RSI. So in 2 weeks, I could see it being close to oversold, maybe well below 20, like at 18. So your next support, if you lose $20, is $18. I'd be pretty surprised that actually at some point in the month of August we do not go down to $18. So we'll see what happens. But I did put a put position on SoFi. That is a stock, and yeah. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up. I don't see any requests for altcoins, and yeah, that's kind of what I got. Let me see. Let me check YouTube one more time. We can go look at WIF. Thank you for the request. Let's go look at WIF. WIF. So on the daily time frame, you're above the 200-day moving average. The higher time frames look a little sketchy to me, though. Let's go down to the 12-hour time frame. 12-hour time frame is above the 200, but again, it looks sketchy to me. And I kind of see a left shoulder. It's not the greatest. You could say this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. You could say that, and then you would just delete that one. And that's a head and shoulders pattern. And I, unfortunately, would be looking for more downside on this one, down to probably 68 cents on WIF. I know it's a meme coin, and that's about all I know. So, WIF to me it's barely holding that 200-day moving average. It doesn't look fantastic to me for a move up. It just looks kind of sketchy to me. And really, the most likely situation at this point is a move back to the downside. So I would say that these are your support levels. At 68 cents, you have some support. Or actually, we'll say 65 cents is support, 30 cents is support, and $1.36 is resistance. As long as you cannot get above $1.36, I'd be looking for a move back down to 65 cents. You've been rejected off $1.36 now 1, 2, now 3 times. Third time's a charm, and I'd be looking at. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say this, it just looks dumpy to me. It looks like a move coming to the downside. Like, we'll see. You are above the 4-hour 200-day moving average, so that's a good sign. The 1 hour lost it. The 2 hour lost it. The 3 hour would be the next stop. Down to $1.03 would be the next stop. Hey, honestly, man, I'm not telling you what to do. This could be a nice short, actually. The 4-hour time frame almost pretty oversold, but that was also a rising wedge. If you see that right there, that's a rising wedge. These break down most of the time, 68% of the time. I feel like it's even more than that. So, yeah, now WIF has a measured move of 81 cents on this rising wedge here that's dumping. So I would just be very cautious on WIF. 8-hour time frame almost oversold, overbought. 6-hour time frame overbought, making a lower high. WIF looks pretty dumpy to me. So your next stop on WIF to the downside would be about 65 cents. And then if you lose that level, Well, yeah, that's your next support is 65 cents and then 30 cents. So I don't think we go down to 30 cents unless we're in a bear market. But for right now, WIF looks pretty bad to me, and that's where I leave it off. I could easily see the 3 hour and then the 4 hour 200-day moving averages being hit to the downside. And that's my update on WIF. It looks bad. I'm sorry. You're very welcome. So, yeah, WIF looks sketchy to me. With that being said, thank you for the follow, Hector123. I appreciate it. So, with that being said, that I'll be back live on Saturday night. But for right now, I see Bitcoin probably getting the bounce back to the upside on the 15-minute time frame. Right now, that 1 minute time frame still hasn't really done anything to speak of. It's just taking a little longer to play out. And we'll go from there. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one Saturday night for the next live stream. Until then, trade safe. Have a great rest of your day. The 1 minute time frame, it looks like it could break to the downside. Let me just see right now. I think for as of right now, I plan to be live on the normal time at 9 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. If that changes, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram group. You can find my Telegram link page on my X or Twitter page. It's Crypto Andrew 333. If you follow me there, or if you go to that page, you can get the link for the Telegram. Even though the 1 minute looks sketchy for Bitcoin, I'd be looking for the 1 hour to get that bounce, and that's where I leave us off, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. I'll see you guys in the next one. WIF does look like a nice short, actually, to the downside. I could see a move coming to the downside for WIF. So I'll probably put this in my trading group, and I'll go from there. But WIF looks like it could get a dump, and really the 4 hour time frame suggests that 80 cents would be the measured move on that dump. So we'll see what happens. That's all I got, guys. Trade safe. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The trend is your friend until the end. Right now, the trend, at least on WIF, is to the upside. The trend on Bitcoin, I would say, is to the upside. Take that with a grain of salt, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Cheers and adios.